Kamusta kayo? Ako si Maxime.
Ako si Suti.
Welcome to our channel. As you probably know from the title, we have Geography Now Philippines today, and it's gonna be a long video. It's 19 minutes 41 seconds, so we're gonna react to it right now, and we're gonna try to not stop too much because our computer might explode if the reaction is too long. So okay, let's get started.
Philippines is like the jolliest of them all. They're just happy, fun, jolly people. And you know what? It's been 3 years. I'm not taking this anymore. I've been pushed around, I've been threatened, I've been thrown in the dungeon, I've been the butt of all the jokes. I'm the Filipino one. This is my time. My time! Ah!
Oh God.
Welcome to the Philippines.
Woo!
My turn. Okay.
Okay.
It's time to learn geography now! Hey everyone, I'm Ken, and as you know, I'm half Filipino. Years ago, I was looking for a job and I saw this ad asking for a motion graphics animator on Craigslist. Paul and I literally met up at a Jollibee for my interview. He said I was his top 3 candidates. In reality, there were only 3 candidates that applied, so technically I didn't lie, but yeah, the other 2 people kind of sucked, so yeah. Oh, and back then, I had this weird mustache and Paul's hair was basically this.
Wow.
Ken and I have been talking for a long time, and we agreed Ken definitely has to be in this episode. You've come so far from that Craigslist Jollibee interview, you've earned this. Thanks. Handa na? Magsimula.
Maxine?
Political
This is
geography.
an interesting country because there's sort of a dichotomy between labels. If you ask a Filipino if they consider themselves Asian or Pacific Islanders, you might get contrasting answers. What do you consider yourself, Ken? I always thought Pacific Islanders sounded kind of cool, so I usually stuck with that. So first of all, the Philippines is a tropical archipelago of over 7,000 islands. About
I think
2,000
most of our subscribers from the Philippines, you consider yourselves Asian first, right? I think I've read a lot of discussion in different comment section, Pacific Islanders, Asian, and most Filipino, I think, they consider themselves Asian.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
inhabited, and it is the largest island nation without any land borders or shared.
Wow, 7,000 islands.
The country is located in Southeast Asia, straddling the Philippine Sea in the north, the South China Sea in the west, and the Sulu and Celebes
And
Sea
there's
in
some
the
part
south.
of it that is contested by China, right?
Which is split amongst 3 nations. At the closest point,
We have been to
about 20
Borneo.
miles or 40 kilometers
Yeah.
away from
On the
nearest
Malaysian
island
side,
that belongs
Kuching.
to the Philippines. Now, in general, many people will refer to one of the 3 main island cluster regions that people are a part of. There are Luzon in the north, where you can find the capital Manila, and where half of the population lives. Visaya in the center, and
Cebu.
Mindanao in the south. Otherwise, the nation is made up of 17 regions, one of which is autonomous. The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. This place has a high level of self-rule and autonomy appointed by the government. We'll explain
Because
more
the
about
Philippines is
this later.
Catholic,
If you want to
right?
be absolutely technical, Quezon City, a bit north of Manila, is the largest city in the Philippines. However, the surrounding 16 towns and cities by Manila are called Manila Metro, or the National Capital Region, and they basically act as one unit. Otherwise, the largest city outside of the NCR are Davao City.
Davao.
Now,
Oh,
Cebu
we almost went to
Davao
Davao a
has
few
the
years ago.
largest and busiest airport
Because we
in
hear
Hanoi
that it's kind of cold a little bit,
which is
Yeah.
and we
basically a
wanted
hub that services the
cold
entire
side of the
NCR.
Philippines a
They
little
also
bit.
have the
Fresh
busiest
air.
shipping port at the port of Manila. Otherwise, the second largest airport is Cebu Mactan International, and rounding out for third place is Davao City Francisco Bangoy International. In terms of land transport, though, the Philippines is well connected amongst the islands. In fact, the longest highway is the Pan-Philippine Highway that stretches about 3,500 kilometers
Wow.
across the
It's
country
long.
and connects
Yeah, yeah.
Luzon, Samar, Liet, and Mindanao with underground tunnels connecting them. Finally, the Philippines has only 2 territorial disputes: the state of Sabah in Malaysia on North Borneo. The territory once had been part of the Sultanate of Sulu, a Muslim state that existed the 15th century to the 20th century, and that's a whole other story. As for the other dispute, as we mentioned quite a few times already, this whole area
Yeah, okay.
Islands is a complete mess. If you don't know
Yeah.
anything about this place, it basically goes like this. Yeah. This is the map showing what everyone claims in the area. This big one right here is China.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they just kind of pretty much went for all of it. This is even less.
When was that video done? 2019 October, but I feel like there's been a lot of controversy. Even there was a movie made also that was banned in the Philippines because of that conflict. An animation
Nations
movie,
that
I
have built
think.
Patrol stations on the island, and when they spot a ship that gets too close, things can get.
I heard that China is
Like,
building military base on
hey,
some
what
of
are you
those
doing? This is
islands
fire.
Yeah.
at the moment.
Doing some fishing and research here, you know?
Why do you have a shovel then? Are you building something? Or?
Well, technically there's no land protruding from this reef, so there's no land claim.
So you're just gonna build your own land.
For research.
For
Anyway,
research.
are some notable spots of interest.
Fort Santiago,
Magellan's Cross,
San Agustin Church,
Sagada Hanging Coffins,
Aguilado Shrine,
Cebu's Philippine Taoist Temple,
Oh, wow.
Shrine of Mama Mary in Tagaytay,
the Lapu-Lapu Shrine,
Luneta Park,
MacArthur Landing Site,
Bunawi Rice Terraces.
the Malacanang Palace,
Vigan has many historical and
Wow,
colonial
that look European.
various national museums.
Of course, that's
history
what's to
and
look like
arts.
that.
tons of amusement
I know.
And that's not even including all the natural wonders of the Philippines. They have an underground river,
The most amazing, beautiful beaches
Boracay?
in the universe.
hills that look like lumps of chocolate.
Chocolate?
There's an island in a lake, in an island, in a lake, in an island.
We should hang out sometime.
Yeah, when you have 7,000 tropical islands on a volcanic archipelago, chances are
Oh,
things
yeah,
can get pretty
volcano.
crazy landscape-wise. Which brings us to...
The physical
The
geography.
actual physical land of the Philippines is the biggest treasure you will find here for sure. Anyway, the Philippines lies on the Ring of Fire.
Where's the
specifically
gold?
On the tectonic plate named
Yes.
after the Philippine plate.
And about 95% of the land is made up of the 11 largest islands.
Wow.
The country was essentially formed through the tectonic activity between the Philippines, Manila, and the Mindanao Trenches, the Mindanao being the second deepest in the world.
This makes the country susceptible to small earthquakes and minor volcanic activity.
About 53 active volcanoes can be found in all of these largest islands, except
Oh,
for Palawan. The most
there's
famous
one
and picturesque
recently
of these include
that exploded.
See this island here, Camiguin? It actually has more volcanoes than towns on it.
Tal?
7 versus
Tal
5,
volcano?
Making it the place with the most number of volcanoes per square kilometer in the world.
In fact, the tallest peak in the Philippines is a potentially active volcano, Mount Apo, located in the South Mindanao area.
Mount
The country has numerous mountain ranges and highlands that dip into the fertile valleys, the largest range being the Cordillera Range in the North Luzon area, hooking into the Sierra Madre Range on the east side, which feeds the longest river of the country, the Cagayan, that flows into the Cagayan Valley.
This valley, along with the central Luzon Valley, are the largest arable croplands and produce nearly all of the rice in the Philippines.
The Visayas are known for growing the most sugarcane, whereas Mindanao specializes heavy in coconut and fruit production.
Back in Luzon, though, you can find the largest lake in the country, Lake Laguna Dabay, which is actually in the caldera of a dormant volcano.
The lake has a
Wow.
weird detached island called Talim, and
Is
it's
it
actually
dangerous?
drained by the Pasig River that flows through the
Probably.
peninsula.
And finally, the country is the heart of typhoon territory. They can come at
Oh,
almost
yeah.
any time of the year. The nation will experience on average about 20 of the turbulent storms annually, which often flood to their many river systems. But yeah, if anything, Filipinos are the most cyclone-adapted people on Earth. They're used to it. The water has always been kind of their thing. Swimming, sailing, fishing.
Just not
We reacted to a video when they talked. Oh, that's a weird time to pause. We reacted to a video where they explained where the Filipino smile come from, and they were explaining that because they have been in so many like event like what they just showed,
Yeah.
like the catastrophe event, that in order to move on, they need to smile because if not, they're gonna feel so depressed, and they need to stay positive and smile and carry on with their life.
exactly quite diving into it.
Otherwise, the Philippines is one of the 17 mega-diverse nations on Earth.
They actually have the largest level of marine biodiversity in the world
Wow.
within their waters and the highest rate of animal discovery on the planet.
Not
with
surprised,
16
huh?
Mammal species that were discovered in the
Wow.
past decade alone.
They have everything from
The longest snake in the world, the reticulated python.
Oh.
the largest fish in the world, whale sharks,
7 of the 8 known species of giant clam are found in the Philippines.
Wow,
the
a
world's
clam.
smallest hoofed animal, the Philippine
Mouse
The
deer.
national bird is the largest eagle in the world.
Economically speaking, the Philippines is considered a newly industrialized nation. It is transitioning out of becoming an agricultural-based system to a service and manufacturing-based one. They have like 3 of the top 10 largest malls on Earth.
Ooh, just you wait. I'm taking the top spot soon.
They're one of the
You're right,
fastest growing economies in Asia, and as the 34th largest economy in the world, their GDP purchasing power parity has surpassed the $2 trillion mark.
It's like,
We're so rich!
Korea.
someday. For what it's worth though, mining, fishing, and agriculture are strong industries as well. They are currently the world's largest nickel and abaca or Manila hemp producers, and the second largest coconut producer after Indonesia.
Tourism, though, is another important industry, taking up about 8% of their GDP, employing over 3 million people.
And now, food! Now in the Philippines, every region has
This
their
one
own
I'm so
specialty and
curious
culinary
about.
strange.
Yeah, every dish looks like a fairy exploded.
Lots of dishes you could eat kumakain kamay.
Yeah, pretty much everything has rice, and then you're gonna get a lot of grease and salt and vinegar, and a lot of like, I don't care if that looks like it goes there or not, I'm still gonna eat it anyway. Right, Ken?
Yeah, that's Filipino food.
Yeah.
There's really no official national dish, but 3
Oh.
meals that are well
There's
known
no-
for are adobo, lumpia, and sinigang.
Oh, let me see again.
Adobo.
Yeah, some chicken or pork.
Oh, that look Mexican food.
Adobo, lumpia,
Lumpia. It looked like a.
Fries being rolled.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
and sinigang.
Sinigang.
This is like sour soup or something.
Yeah, we have very similar.
Delicious.
Yeah, maybe we eat some of these and we don't know that it's Filipino, but it's similar to what we have here actually. It looks
That look
different.
good.
Yeah.
And in the non-Muslim parts, lechon is a huge deal.
There are also dishes
Hey,
like
Dad.
Tagalog steak,
tinola.
pancito.
Wait a second.
Oh,
There
no,
are
this
also
one.
dishes like
Tagalog.
What is
Tagalog
this?
steak? It looked like spring onion. Tagalog steak.
Steak.
tinola.
Tinola.
This one is gonna be my food. It look like I love it.
It's chicken with some green, some
Yeah.
flour, not flour,
I
but
feel
leaf.
like the soup is look like really like mochi. I don't know. how to
Is it
say
soup that you need to cook the broth for like a few
I
hours?
think so.
Yeah.
That really look like that.
Pancito.
Oh,
Unsee something.
this.
It's fried noodle with
I don't know what do they call.
what is that seafood again?
Fresh noodle.
The one
Squid?
that squid? Yeah.
This noodle we also have it.
Yeah.
It's come from the powder. I would say maybe like fresh noodle. You don't need to cook it.
Oh.
You just like put everything on top of it. We also have it too.
Deep luglug.
Kare kare.
Kari kari? Kari kari. Oh,
It look like your soup.
that looked like a curry or something.
Yeah. What is that meat though?
Sausage?
Chicken? Oh.
That looked an interesting, like almost Indian. 60.
Oh.
That looked like some cricket or something. I don't know.
Tapsilong.
Tapsilong.
Tapsilong?
Tapsilong.
What is that meat?
I don't know. It looked like bug again.
Look like meat though.
Tapsilong.
Like,
Balot.
is it the chicken inside?
I don't know.
Like small chicken, we also have it too.
Yeah.
Lut.
Kinilaw.
Kinilaw.
It look like salad.
Yeah,
Tuna
salad.
salad.
Yeah, I think so.
And my favorite Filipino dish, palabok.
Palabok.
Just put some nice little
Palabok?
lettuce on it. I actually got this at Jollibee.
Oh.
It's like the most popular fast food chain in the Philippines. It's like if McDonald's and KFC adopted a Filipino baby, and they even added spaghetti to their menu for some reason.
Otherwise,
A lot of it looks similar to what you have
I
here.
don't think I don't want to eat, but I think like no one bring that inside the country and then
Yeah.
no one like develop the ingredient. I'm pretty sure if someone make it for us, the taste is gonna be like almost similar.
Do we
I
have
think.
Jollibee in Thailand?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have Jollibee. I don't even think we have a Jollibee in
Yeah.
Thailand.
Do they have in Canada?
No, we don't have in Canada. I have never seen a Jollibee in Canada, but I think they have in the US though. I think they have in USA, but they don't have in. I've never seen a Jollibee in Canada actually. Maybe they have, but not in the French part where I am.
Yeah.
Filipinos are dessert experts. They love their ube everything.
Ube.
Ice cream, ube bread, ube pie,
Ube?
cakes.
What is that ube?
Ube looks similar to taro in Thailand.
Yeah.
Taro. Taro? They call it
It's
taro?
purple. It's like
Yeah.
like potato, like some
Potato?
potato, but they call taro.
Yeah.
Right?
Sapin and cassava cakes, those are the best desserts.
Cassava
They
cake.
They also
really
have
like
halo-halo,
dessert,
leche
though.
flan, turon, buko pandan, and puto.
See, it's very similar to what we have, what they have in dessert in Thailand.
It's because of the temperature and the climate.
Maybe the climate, yeah.
We almost have the same fruit. because-
Mango, coconut, yeah.
Yeah, even in Thailand, like around this area, we could not grow anything like durian. We cannot grow it. We need to grow like near Cambodia, like near where they have the beach. Like
Yeah.
the temperature look like in the Philippines.
Yeah.
What you call me? If you're either Latin American or Spanish, you may notice some of those foods are also found in Latin cuisine. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll explain that in. Now, only in the Philippines can you find people that have Spanish names, speak English, celebrate in Austrian
Yes.
culture, and cook Chinese.
General MacArthur once said,
Austronesian.
"Give me 1,000 Filipino soldiers, and I will conquer the world."
Yeah, for some reason, Filipinos are like the best friends of Asia. Filipinos still have the best attitudes and smiles. They even give time off felony sentences if the prisoners volunteer to take part in a Michael Jackson dance performance in public.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, the graph. The country has about 110 million people and is the 8th most populated country in Asia and the 12th most populated country in the world.
There are about 175 ethno-linguistic people groups in the Philippines, the majority of whose languages are Austronesian.
Of these groups, the largest ones are the Tagalog at about 28%, 13% are Cebuano, 9% are Ilocano, and 8% are Bisaya. The rest are made up of other groups plus a small minority of non-native citizens, mostly Asians and Americans.
It's important to note, though, that the Philippines has about 10.2 million people overseas worldwide. It is one of the largest diaspora populations spanning
Overseas,
over 100
Mom.
countries. The U.S. alone has about...
That's the advantage of speaking English,
We're
you
at
know.
one point colonized by the
You
US.
can go work
Use the
overseas
Filipino
more
peso as
easy.
currency. They use types A, B, and C plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road.
Oh, and keep in mind the word Pinoy is synonymous with something that is
Yeah.
Filipino. You might see that used a lot.
Now back to the ethnic groups thing. Since there are over 175 of them, you would think, how do they all communicate?
Well, the Philippines has two official languages. English, which makes them the fifth most English-speaking nation on Earth, and
yeah.
Filipino, which is the standardized version
Wow.
of Tagalog. The Philippine Tagalog language spoken today is a very different from pure Tagalog. It actually has about 14% Spanish, 10% Malay, and 7% English mixed into it.
Taglish, Taglish.
You see the influence in words like pintalador, guapo, zapatos, and pamilya. Often, Filipinos will substitute
Familia instead of familia, yeah.
B or a V with it.
Yeah, same with Koreans actually. Yeah. High five with minimal consonants.
Yay!
Oh, and fun fact, Ken taught me this. In Tagalog, you can actually say an entire conversation just using the syllable ba. For example,
Ba, 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 ba.
ba, 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 ba.
Ba, 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 ba.
In the Mindanao area, Cebuano is a common language, as well as the other regional tongues like Waray and Daboeno.
They even
Bueno.
have the only Spanish-based Creole in Asia, Chavacano, located in Zamboanga City. Now, the Philippines is unique in that over a past few centuries, they've gone through three periods that shape their identity.
Before European intervention, the Philippines has had a multitude of early civilizations that built kingdoms and dynasties like the Tondo, the Namayan, the Pangasinan, and the Sulu Sultanate.
Many of these kingdoms had their own indigenous writing systems, such as the Babayan, Buhi, Eskaya, and Kulitan.
Genetically, Filipinos are classified as belonging to the broader Austronesian people group, with their closest cousins being the Micronesians, like the Mariana Islanders, Guam, and Palau.
Although over the years, many people have mixed, and today it is speculated that somewhere around 1/5 or more of the population may have some kind of Chinese ancestry.
Yes, if you don't know about that, or if you want to see, we're gonna do a reaction very soon, actually, to people that are half Filipino all around the world. People that you might, celebrities that you might not think that are half Filipino. We're gonna react to it. If you are seeing this reaction, go to our channel. It's probably there already. We're gonna react really, really soon.
After the Spanish came in, they adopted many of the customs, traditions, and cultural traits which have Spanish roots. Their own country is named after Spanish King Philip. The biggest trait, though, would be the fact that they are predominantly Catholic, at about 81%
Yeah.
of the population adhering to the faith.
The rest are mostly Protestant, with a small Muslim minority in the South Mindanao area.
The Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia, fifth largest Christian nation on Earth,
Yeah.
and third largest Catholic nation after Brazil and Mexico.
They have so many holidays and festivals devoted to Catholic themes, like All Saints' Day, Holy Week, and Easter, and of course, the largest one, Christmas.
The Philippines has the longest Christmas season out of anywhere else on Earth.
Okay, so now we're just gonna rapid fire a list of 12 fun cultural facts for the Philippines.
Filipinos have a ton of superstitions. For example, whistling at night will turn you into a werewolf.
For formal Filipinos wearing traditional barongs
What?
for men and Maria Clara or
Oh, wow.
dresses for women.
There are many other traditional costumes and customs for the other 170 ethnic groups. Too many to cover, but it goes everywhere from feathers, coconut fibers, hairdresses, tribal tattoos, and so on.
Speaking of which, the Philippines dominates major international beauty pageants with a grand total of 15
Yes.
entries at the Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss
Pia.
International, and Miss
Pia.
Earth competitions.
Basketball and boxing are the most popular sport by far. They have the oldest basketball league in Asia and the second oldest
yeah.
in the world after the United States. And come on, we all know Pacquiao.
The Philippines
Yay.
is a nation to train and export nurses
Pac-Man.
abroad. It's been said at one point, every Filipino has their should I just drop everything and become a nurse moment in their life crisis.
That's a fact. I've had those. And the word balikbayan means returner or returning.
Balikbayan.
It's used when someone comes back from expat work abroad.
You might hear the honorific title of po or opo for elders, and a lot of people often raise the backs of the hands of their elders on their forehead as a sign of respect.
It's at the end of the sentence, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like kamusta po.
Oh.
In
Kamusta
Thailand, you say
po?
cap or clap,
Crap or
depend, stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
polite thing that you put at the end of the sentence. They have that in Korea also. They have that in many Asian. I think it's really, I don't know if it's an Asian concept, but we don't have a similar thing in French or in English. Something that you put at the end as a polite end of sentence.
Weird, right?
To an elder.
Hypo? Hypo? Is this even work?
I don't know.
Is this even work?
And say bless.
In the Philippines, you have your name and you have your Pinoy nickname, and they get really weird and creative. Pepsi, Bing Bong, Jelly Boy, Pinky, Bum Bum, and Earl.
Every Filipino
Same in
on every
Thailand.
island in every
Same in
region will
Thailand.
Tell you, Filipinos are obsessed with karaoke. The
Oh.
first karaoke machine was actually patented by a Filipino,
Oh.
Roberto del Rosario.
Wow.
We know some Japanese dude invented it, but he patented it.
Obviously, that means music is a big deal in the
Yes.
Philippines. Besides taking modern cues from American pop, they also have traditional styles. Instruments include things like gudyapi, gilitang, gimbal, kuping, and
Interesting.
Togali.
In addition, there are many
Oh.
different styles of dance, but the most famous one considered the national dance is tinikling, a dance
Tinikling.
with pairs of perpendicular bamboo
Wow, that
poles
looks
that
really
are clapped
difficult.
together as percussion
Oh.
and the dancers must weave their feet in and out in the spaces
Bamboo pole.
before getting hit or tripped.
Now, on a bit of a more objective note, we do have to talk about some of the controversies.
The Philippines is beautiful, but if you've been keeping up with current events, they do have their fair share of issues that have made headlines. We don't sugarcoat everything here.
Human trafficking, whether in the sex industry, slavery, or organ smuggling, has been a problem in certain areas. And even though
Everywhere in
anti-trafficking
Southeast Asia,
laws have been
actually.
passed by the government, enforcement has not always been on par.
The drug trade has also
Drugs.
been a major inconvenience for decades, affecting millions of people in the country. This has led to the new controversial laws instituted by President Duarte, which
Yes.
encouraged the public to seek bounty in exchange for hunting down drug pushers. Many have died in the process.
And finally, you have the Moro conflict, an insurgency in
The
predominantly
pirates?
Muslim Mindanao region, which sought to take parts of eastern Malaysia and break away through conflict. The fight has been going on for nearly half a century, and now it's just ending at the turn of the 21st century.
Kind of.
For what it's worth, though, in the Philippines, everyone is family at the end. You don't have to be related to anyone to call someone ate or kuya. There's even a word,
Kuya.
bayanihan, which means something like helping one another through community spirit without expecting anything in return. In any case, we gotta finish off this segment with history.
Austronesians.
Tribal kingdoms and sultanates.
This guy came to the island.
Magellan.
Catholicism comes in.
Lapu-Lapu and Magellan dies in battle.
5 Spanish dudes followed through.
They finally become a colony of Spain.
The galleon trade.
British Philippines.
And then back to Spain. The Treaty of Paris.
Philippine Revolution.
The Spanish-American War.
First
Wow.
Philippine Republic. Philippine-American War.
American occupation.
World War II, Japan invades.
American
Wow.
pushes them back.
Finally, Philippine independence.
Ferdinand Marcos turned from president to dictator.
Martial law.
This guy gets killed because he was against the regime.
People Power
Oh.
Revolution in 1986.
Growth from agricultural society to an industrial one.
And here we are today. And now we finish off with the notable famous people condensed. Some famous
Oh, famous people.
Geography suggested we mention in this episode include
Lapu-Lapu.
Jose Rizal, these two saints,
Melchora Aquino.
Manuel L.
Quezon.
Lacan Dula. Josefa Llanes Escoda.
Cuba.
And Vicente Lim.
Carlos Peña Romulo,
Mula.
And all the Miss Universe winners. And there's a ton
Yay.
of Americans with Filipino or partial Filipino descent.
Yeah, you see
Oh,
the list of American
wow.
Filipinos. Those two get along pretty tight.
We'll explain more on how that happened in...
Friend
Because of the
zone.
long history in the Philippines being colonized by 2 major Western powerhouses, it would make sense that it would have ties with the outside world in many different ways.
For friends, the Philippines is generally close with all the ASEAN nations and does great business with them, particularly Indonesia and Malaysia, their closest neighbors.
The Marshall Islands, Palau, and the federal states of Micronesia are all cousin countries, many of which have Filipino migrants in them, and they all share the same history of being former U.S. territories and U.S.-influenced states.
Of course, Spain will always be in the back of their minds as the former colonizer that they gained much influence from. Although Filipinos are not considered Latino, the Spanish and many Latin Americans kind of see them as like the adopted Asians that totally fit in their family. It's like, come on, you're Catholic, you eat flan, every 5th word you speak is Spanish, you're basically one of us.
Interestingly enough, the relationship with Mexico has historically been always strong. The Philippines was ruled under a Mexico-based viceroyalty of New Spain. The Manila galleons were Spanish trading ships, which for 2.5 centuries linked the Philippines with Mexico across the Pacific Ocean, making 1 or 2 round-trip voyages per year between the ports of Acapulco and Manila. And Mexican traditions were brought in, like the Day of the Dead and Champorado.
When it comes to their best friends, however, most Filipinos would probably say, even though colonial years were a little bit bumpy, ultimately the USA and South Korea.
South Korea was one of their closest best friends from the 20th century on. World War II really bonded with them after the Japanese occupation years, and they supported each other diplomatically.
Koreans are the top #1 tourist demographic that visit the Philippines. Koreans kind of admire the fact that even though they were both
But I
influenced
think
by
it's
the
not
US,
far
Filipinos
to-
speak better English, whereas Filipinos practically obsess over Korean products and media.
Us.
That's why we're...
For the USA, ties were close ever since they became their colony in 1898. The U.S. also had the largest number of overseas Filipinos at over 4 million,
Wow.
most of whom live on the west
4
coast states
million.
like Hawaii and California. They are one of the oldest Asian partners of the U.S. They have a mutual defense treaty, and they are the largest export partner and second largest import after China.
American
Wow.
pop culture dominates much of the youth influence. Hollywood studios love filming there, and Gallup polls have shown that the USA is favored on average by over 90% of the people asked, making it one of the
Wow.
most pro-American countries on the planet. And Ken, you take the conclusion.
In conclusion, if you enter a room full of Asians, you definitely know who the Filipinos are. While everyone's so uptight, we're the ones
They're
singing
loud.
karaoke and somersaulting. You can just feel the energy of a Filipino. There's a touch of Latin flavor with American pop undertones. But in the end, no matter what island, you're immediately considered part of the Pinoy family.
Ken, you're one of my best friends. I love you, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Stay tuned. Poland is coming up next.
There was a lot there.
Yeah.
I could not remember everything, but I feel like it's so. This channel explains so well. I think.
Yeah, because it's short, but for me it's still really quick though. I need to like focus a lot on it.
So, well, recommend us more.
Yeah.
Let us know if we said something that is offensive. I mean, it's not necessarily an opinion. We're just talking because we make a reaction, so we try to give information.
We are not trying to compare between the Philippines and Thailand. Just about like what we have or more the same. Because I always have been curious about like I was thinking about is the mango in the Philippines are tasted like us, something like that.
We need to go one day. So, okay, thank you for watching, everyone,
Yeah.
and see you next time. Bye bye.